You're listening to Barske Studio True Crime. The story you're about to hear is just one of many hidden in the shadows of Nordic history, based on true events. No emotions, no bias, just facts.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're heading back, way back to July 21st, 1973, Lillehammer, Norway.
Right, a normally very quiet town.
Exactly. But what happened there was, well, it wasn't just some local crime. It was this huge intelligence disaster, an international mess, really, that exposed a whole secret network.
And it permanently shifted Norway's view on, global espionage. It's definitely studied today, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
In intelligence circles, it's seen as like one of Mossad's biggest operational failures ever. You had a team of 15 agents, supposedly a high-value target, the green light to assassinate.
And it all just fell apart because of one single catastrophic mistake.
A fatal mistake.
And that mistake cost an innocent man his life. Ahmed Bouchiki. He was a Moroccan waiter, married to his pregnant Norwegian wife, Toril, just living his life.
And Mossad agents killed him. They thought he was Ali Hassan Saleh.
Saleh, the supposed leader of Black September, the group behind the '72 Munich Olympics massacre.
So today, we're going to trace this whole thing. How did the intel get so wrong? How did these supposedly elite agents get caught so, well, easily?
Right, almost immediately.
And then there's the decades of fallout in Norway, political, legal, it just kept going. We'll cover the first investigation, 73 to 77, and then how it all flared up again in the 90s.
Okay, so context first. This was part of something bigger, wasn't it?
Yes, Operation Wrath of God. This was a campaign basically sanctioned right from the top by Prime Minister Golda Meir.
Targeting everyone linked to Munich.
Pretty much. And Salome, often called the Red Prince, he was always priority number one. Though it's fair to say Palestinian sources later kind of question how central his role in Munich really was.
Okay, so how does a target like Salome lead Mossad all the way to a small town in Norway? The initial lead itself is quite something.
It really is. The whole trail starts with this incredibly valuable source, Amina Daoud el-Mufti, who was working out of Geneva.
Geneva. How does that connect to Lillehammer?
Well, Amina, she was the daughter of a former Jordanian prime minister, high-level job at the Arab League offices in Geneva. But secretly, she was spying for Mossad.
A double agent.
Exactly. She later converted to Judaism, took the name Ruth Nisanoff. Anyway, because of her position, she overheard something, just a casual mention apparently, that Salome might be heading to Scandinavia.
Wow. So just this vague tip from a top-tier source.
Yeah.
That's enough to kick off a major assassination plot.
It seems so. The next step involved tracking an Algerian guy, Kamal Benamin. They suspected he was a courier, meant to meet Salome.
And Benamin travels to Lillehammer.
Right. And this is where it gets really problematic. Bouchiki, the waiter, he was seen somehow interacting with Benamin. Some sources say they were just, chatting on a bench, nothing more.
Just a chance encounter. A passing resemblance, maybe.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's the target.
That's what happened. The team became convinced Bouchiki was Salome. They started tailing him, but, and this is crucial, there were doubts internally.
Like what?
Well, a female agent sent in for closer surveillance, she confirmed Bouchiki spoke French. Now, Salome was multilingual, but...
But French wasn't his primary known language, right?
Right.
I read one agent later specifically pointed that out.
Exactly. And sources also suggest that other agents admitted the physical resemblance, well, it wasn't that strong either.
So you've got shaky visual ID, a language discrepancy. I mean, these are pretty big red flags, aren't they? Why push ahead? This seems like the critical failure point.
Absolutely it is. But the team leader, Michael Harari, he was apparently set on it. Reports say he just dismissed the concerns, overruled the dissenting agents, and gave the final order.
Confirmation bias in action. Deadly confirmation bias.
You could say that. He gave the go-ahead, and that decision sealed Bouchiki's fate.
Which brings us to that night, July 21st, 1973. Bouchiki and his wife Toril, who was pregnant at the time, they were just walking home.
Yeah, walking home from the cinema in Furbakken, suddenly this white Mazda pulls up, cuts them off,
And then,
two men jump out, known only by their code names, Raoul and Francois. They fired 13 shots into Bouchiki with a .22 pistol. Toril saw the whole thing.
horrific. And the gunmen.
Never definitively identified, they vanished.
Okay, the killing itself is a tragedy, but what happened next with the Mossad team? It almost defies belief. How does a team of, 15 trained agents get rolled up so fast?
Pure carelessness. The Norwegian police themselves called it uverenheit, extreme recklessness. 6 agents were captured very quickly.
And the story about the car, is that true?
Oh, yeah. 2 agents were picked up the next day. They were driving the same white Mazda getaway car near the airport, trying to link up with others.
They didn't even change the license plates.
Nope, hadn't changed the plates. It's just astonishing incompetence for an operation like this.
You really can't make it up. Using the hot car for an airport run.
And the damage was immediate and catastrophic for Mossad's European network. One of the arrested agents, Ethel Marianne Kletnikoff, Swedish-born, she basically folded almost instantly under questioning.
Yep.
They said she laid out the whole operation in about half an hour, just spilled everything.
30 minutes. Wow. And the other agent, Dan Arbel, the Danish one.
Also very cooperative. Arbel gave them tons of operational details. And what's really interesting from his interrogation is that he apparently told them he genuinely believed Norwegian authorities had somehow okayed the mission. Secretly, you know?
Which they absolutely hadn't.
No, of course not. But it maybe shows the mindset they were operating under.
And these confessions didn't just expose the Lillehammer up, did they?
Not at all. It went much wider. The police found incriminating documents, keys to safe houses in Paris, across Europe.
A whole network unraveled.
Precisely. Agent identities were exposed. All this intel got shared with other European agencies. Mossad had to scramble, abandon safe houses, pull agents out from all over.
But not everyone was caught.
No, 9 agents got away, including Harari, the leader, and the 2 shooters, Raoul and Francois. They slipped the net.
So this massive operational failure turns into a huge diplomatic crisis for Norway. 5 agents ended up on trial in '74.
Right. Charged with complicity in the killing, illegal intelligence gathering, document forgery, things like that.
And the sentences.
They varied. From 1 year up to 5.5 years, Sylvia Raphael and Abraham Gemmer got the longest sentences.
Some people call them lenient, though.
Well, yeah, but the Norwegian Supreme Court drew a clear line. They emphasized these individuals were accessories involved in planning surveillance, not the actual trigger pullers, but the court also made it crystal clear. Norway would not be a playground for foreign state assassinations, period.
And Israel felt the heat immediately, politically.
Oh, massively. The Israeli embassy in Oslo was implicated in providing logistical help. Norway wasn't having it. They declared an Israeli diplomat, Yiglo Ayal, persona non grata, kicked him out.
Which is a big deal back then, right?
Huge. First time a European country had ever expelled an Israeli diplomat specifically for something like this. It sent a very powerful signal.
Yet, despite that strong stance, all the agents who were convicted, they were out pretty quickly.
Yeah, by 1975, they'd all been paroled or pardoned and were back in Israel. That sort of closed the book on phase 1 of the affair.
Okay, but then there's this really wild detail that came out later about Dan Arbel, the agent who confessed so much, the nuclear angle.
Right, this is fascinating. Arbel's defense lawyer, Aeneas Schutt, he wrote in a book years later, I think in 2004, that Arbel actually gave Norwegian authorities detailed information about Israel's nuclear weapons program during his debriefings.
Seriously? He leaked nuclear secrets.
According to Schutt, yes. Extraordinary stuff. And apparently, the Norwegian government at the time just sat on it, kept completely quiet about what they'd learned.
Wow. That just shows how deep the repercussions of this single botched operation went.
Absolutely. It changed the intelligence landscape in unexpected ways.
Okay, let's jump forward then to the 1990s, phase 2. Why did this case, which seemed closed, suddenly come back to life?
It was mainly new information surfacing combined with persistent political pressure. Members of the Stortinget, the Norwegian parliament, really pushed for it.
And the main focus was Harari, the leader who got away.
Exactly. There was a real drive to hold him accountable.
Did they get anywhere with that?
Well, they certainly tried. A new arrest warrant was issued for Harari in 1998, but ultimately the public prosecutor closed the case again in 1999.
Why?
Officially, insufficient evidence to guarantee a conviction. Harari was in Israel and, getting cooperation wasn't really on the table.
And all this time, there were these lingering rumors, weren't there? That maybe Norwegian officials, intelligence, someone had secretly helped Mossad.
Yeah, that speculation never really went away, which is why the government eventually commissioned this major definitive review, the NOU 2000.6 report.
NOU stands for Norwegian Public Report, right? Like an official white paper.
Exactly. It's a thorough government investigation. And its main conclusion on the complicity question was totally unambiguous.
Which was?
No basis whatsoever. The committee found zero evidence that any Norwegian authority, police surveillance, military intelligence, politicians had any part in the assassination before, during, or after.
So it debunked the conspiracy theories.
Hmm.
But it wasn't exactly a clean bill of health for the Norwegian side either, was it?
No, not at all. While it cleared them of complicity, the report was actually very critical of how Norwegian agencies handled the aftermath.
How so?
It slammed the prosecution's reviews in the late 80s and early 90s, called them insufficient, said they didn't give the case the priority it needed. This apparently led to the justice minister getting, quote, inaccurate perceptions about Harari's role.
Which hampered efforts to actually pursue him.
Right. And then there was the issue with the military intelligence archives. That was pretty damning.
What happened there?
The liaison office, Ep.10, which handled contacts with foreign services, they shredded everything. All archive material, all journals from before 1995, gone.
Shredded.
With no record.
No proper documentation of the destruction. The NOU committee pointed out that this lack of transparency directly fueled all the unnecessary speculation and uncertainty that dogged the case for years. Poor record-keeping, to put it mildly. So mistakes were made on multiple levels, long after the event itself. Now, before we finish, what about Buchiki's family? Did Israel ever formally apologize or take responsibility?
Officially, no. Israel maintains its policy of never commenting on alleged Secret Service operations. But in 1996, there was a significant development.
Okay.
Israel expressed sorrow over Buchiki's death, calling it unfortunate, and they paid substantial compensation to his widow, Toriel, their daughter Malika, and also to a son Buchiki had from a previous marriage.
A gesture, but not quite an admission of guilt.
Pretty much. And the actual target, Ali Hassan Saleh, what happened to him?
Mossad didn't give up, did they?
No. They eventually caught up with him 6 years later in Beirut, 1979. Killed him with a remote-controlled car bomb.
So looking back at the whole Lillehammer affair, it's this incredible mix, isn't it? High-stakes revenge operation meets almost comically bad execution.
Absolutely. An innocent man killed because of bad intelligence, likely from a very sensitive double-agent source. A major spy network exposed because agents couldn't be bothered to change a license plate.
And for Norway, it forced this decades-long, very uncomfortable look in the mirror regarding its own security services and how they handle or mishandle major international incidents.
Yeah, the NOU report really highlighted those failures weren't just Mossad's. The procedural gaps, the lack of transparency, those were Norwegian issues that needed addressing.
And I think the final thought from that official NOU report is quite powerful. They pointed out that the Lillehammer killing is unique. It's still the only known instance of, effectively, state-sponsored terrorism on Norwegian soil since World War II. A foreign country using Norway as a battlefield.
Right. And because of that uniqueness, the committee strongly recommended that the entire affair, the operational blunders, the flawed investigation afterwards, everything should be studied really closely.
Not just as history, but as a lesson.
Exactly. As a crucial lesson to help prevent future terrorist attacks. A hard lesson, learned from a tragic mistake about the dangers lurking in the shadows and the difficulty of accountability.
An enduring lesson indeed. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us today.
Thank you for listening to Barske Studio True Crime. The story you've heard is just one of many hidden in the shadows of Nordic history. We release new episodes every week, exploring fresh true stories, from haunting mysteries to chilling crimes. Subscribe and join us next week as we uncover another untold truth. This was Barske Studio True Crime, told by AI with no emotion and no filter.